Good day YouTube. At the tail end of Cyberpunk 2077's redemption arc, many fans have questioned if it will win the Game of the Year award over Baldur's Gate 3 in this year's Game Awards. It is an interesting proposition because both games are so rich in composition, in my opinion. So in this video, let's look at some of the no-brainer criteria in evaluating the merits of a game and compare them apple to apple. Art direction and graphics. Both games are visually stunning with top-level art direction, as is necessary for any Game of the Year contender. If I were to nitpick between the two, I would go for Cyberpunk 2077, because an urban environmental design is just that bit more complex and difficult to handle compared to a medieval one. One has to consider up-close designs of vehicles, NPCs, mega buildings, highways, mechanical, electrical services, and then juxtapose that against castles, carts, horses, fruit baskets, and dragons. On the technical aspect, I consider the path tracing of Cyberpunk 2077 to be unbeatable currently in the market. With mod shaders, this game just looks incredible. And so for this category, I give it to Cyberpunk 2077. Music. Cyberpunk has 14 radio stations and numerous iconic songs that tie in with the narrative at crucial junctures, but so does Baldur's Gate 3. Cyberpunk has I Wanna Stay at Your House, Baldur's Gate 3 has Nine Blades and Forging the Fate. Judy's Pyramid Song, hitting all the right vibes, is rivaled no less by Raphael's boss fight soundtrack in Baldur's Gate 3. Both games have top-notch sound design that immerse you in their respective worlds. And from a layman's perspective, I consider this category to be a tie. Lore and world building. Interestingly enough, both games are spawned from 80s table and top pen and paper RPGs. Both franchises have deep theories and laws to make their respective worlds as immersive as possible. In this aspect, I have to give the win to D&D. The amount of classes, spells, cantrips, and feats are so permutable in BG3. The possibilities in character customization is unrivaled. Now BG3 have 11 races, 31 sub-races, 12 classes, 46 subclasses, and in comparison Cyberpunk has solo, techie, or netrunner. At the start of the game, life choices are just street kid, nomad, or corpo. Any of these choices do not have the game-changing ramifications which we will experience in BG3. And this also ties in with the aspect of replayability. A second playthrough with BG3 will likely yield a more different game-playing experience compared to Cyberpunk 2077. Story. Both games passed the goosebump test for me, which is that sinking blue feeling when the end credits roll. Cyberpunk and BG3's central stories are concurrently epic, consuming, and extremely immersive. Dialogues are well written, voice acting top of the class, and interestingly enough, both protagonists Tef and V starts off the story by having life-threatening weird objects rudely inserted into them, and the rest of the story revolves around its removal. BG3 has the better facial animations during dialogue, while Cyberpunk has the better action animations as is expected of an action RPG. I consider this category a tie. Gameplay experience. This is sort of a software test on how the game mechanics flow. Both games, in my opinion, hit the correct balance of game design where it's not too easy and repetitive, and neither is it too challenging to turn off new players. Combat instructions and character leveling mechanics are all largely intuitive and customizable. With their respective latest updates, most of the lackings in inventory management are also cleaned up. This is also a tie, in my opinion. Lastly, but most importantly, it's the Game of the Year factor. The awards have a habit of going to the mainstream AAA title rather than an indie blind side from the dark. For every Dragon Age, there will also be a Witcher, an Overwatch, an Elden Ring. And it's for this very reason which I believe that an action RPG will nick it over a CRPG. So in conclusion, let's compare the results and we will see that both games tied in most contests, with Cyberpunk edging BG3 by a little because of the Game of the Year track record. Of course, end of the day, these are largely subjective as it's just my point of view, and no two gamers will ever have the exact same experience. So what is your opinion? Which game would win if they were to go toe-to-toe in their latest form? Or maybe it should just go to Spider-Man 2, who knows? Leave your comments, and as usual, have a good day ahead everyone.